Okay, there are two things I would like to highlight when discussing the second Gaia data release. And the first one is the Gaia data release 2 source list, which has quite a bit changed compared to what is available for the first Gaia data release. The reason for that mainly rests with the much improved cross-match we have done for the second Gaia data release. And this comes with a few drawbacks for those people who expect the sources of their interest with the same source ID to again show up with the second data release. There are many reasons for changes in this respect, and I will explain a few a bit. For example, that many of the sources which have been there for the first Gaia data release have been either split into two or even more sources, or several of them have been merged into one single source. That is simply because we take into account proper motions much better with the second data release. And there are also many other improvements in the cross-match which led to this. So this means that if we merge or split sources for the second data release, these sources will get new source IDs. They will be on the same position on the sky, but only by a positional match you will again find the sources of your interest if these things have changed for the sources you are interested in. This is also because some of the sources have vanished, but this is more or less just for these spurious sources, so non-real physical objects in the universe, which made it into the first Gaia data release because we had some flux maximum there, which is not related to a real star, but just to saturated stars which produce these kind of spurious objects in their vicinity. So these things have been removed, so that should not be a problem because people are anyway not interested in these spurious sources. But for the other sources, as I said, you have to be aware that you probably, or there's a big chance, at least at the bright end, that you won't find the sources of your interest by just trying to find them via the source ID. So you will have to do positional matches. But even if you find the source of your interest via the source ID, which would be the same between Gaia DR2 and Gaia DR1, this does not mean necessarily that the properties of that star are similar between Gaia data release 1 and Gaia data release 2. So it could well be that to the very same source ID, quite different observations have been matched in the new Gaia data release 2 cross-match. So it could well be that sources have very different parameters and values for Gaia data release 2 compared to Gaia data release 1. So that is something people should be aware of if they use the data, that these things might have changed, not only the names but even the contents of given sources of interest. And the second thing I would like to discuss for Gaia data release 2, and this now is related to the catalogue resolution. So how close we can disentangle stars in the different Gaia data releases. And what you do see is two plots here. And on the left-hand side, that is the resolution, the catalogue resolution in dense fields. And we had a resolution here roughly of 2 arc-seconds, where we still could separate sources for Gaia data release 1. And in dense areas, this has dramatically improved, mainly due to the cross-match. And we are now at roughly 0.4 arc-second resolution. So sources that are that close can still be disentangled by the processing on ground of the Gaia data release 2. So you will have much closer sources still separated in the second Gaia data release. And this is even better in sparse fields because, well, the resolution there still is 0.4 arc-seconds. But contrary to dense fields, you definitely do see real doubles pretty close to this 0.4 arcsecond resolution, which kind of vanish in dense fields because of many issues, because of resource allocation issues on board. We are not too many stars at the very same time can be handled on board, but also simply because truncation on ground for those sources which produce images very close to each other in dense fields still cause quite some problems in the on-ground processing, and that will be deferred to future data releases. So this factor of roughly 5 in the resolution of closed binaries compared to Gaia Data Release 1, that nicely shows how big the improvement is compared to the very first Gaia Data Release, and how much better things are in this respect.